Do you ever feel like a day is just completely chaotic?
Yeah, completely out of focus, completely just
like a whirlwind, and you feel like you're spinning and you can't stop. We're at the time of this recording, it's fall. The leaves are blowing all over the place. There's a lot of shift and change. Kids are back to school and
holidays are coming.
Holidays are coming, and so many choices are bombarding us right now.
Yeah. And we're feeling it out there. We're feeling it in our office with our clients. We're feeling it with our group members. It's this theme that's running right now through all of everything. So we thought we'd address it.
Yeah. And we wanted to talk a little bit, just very briefly, about focus and how to harness it, and a couple of tools that we find really help with keeping our eye on the ball.
Right.
And the first is simply to notice that you're even in chaos in the first place. And it seems like, why do we even have to talk about that? And the reason we bring it up is because in the middle of chaos, we are trying to do so many things at once that we can't, there's no one thing, there's many things. And so when we notice that there are many things, then we can say, okay, what's the one thing that is very important right now? What's important right now for me to focus on? And when we can harness that moment of shift, everything else can really be a lot easier.
Yeah. Awareness is huge. Staying in the present as much as we can, that alone, if you only do that, that will help you feel less chaotic for sure.
Yeah.
So that's a tool. And just to talk about tools, we're going to talk about a few more, but these are tools. But that first one, having awareness, is where you start. That's where you start.
Yeah.
All these things will help, but that's where you start.
And on that note, there's never one thing that is going to actually help you get the focus that you desire, except for your own personal practicing on a regular basis and noticing.
Right.
So oftentimes we reach for tools thinking they're the thing that are going to fix it. And we want to instill in everyone that there is no one thing. It's many things. Right. And that's kind of liberating, because you do all these little things and it adds up to a lot of really beautiful moments and clarity and thriving and not staying stuck.
Right. So it's your intention. Make your intention and understand that, we do grasp out here for so many things, and always the answer is here. Always. Yeah. But our society does not teach us that. So don't have some grace, have some compassion for yourself, because that's not how we're taught. It's something we have to learn for ourselves. So with that, let's go with a couple other tools that we have.
Yeah. One of the first tools, and we talked about this a couple of times ago, but it's a tool called Magic Mind. And we actually don't have the little shots to show you on YouTube, but if you're listening, you can't see anyway. But Magic Mind is a mixture, and it's a shot daily. And the whole purpose of Magic Mind is to keep our focus and to keep the energy steady and moving forward. And we have been playing around with this tool now. You've been doing another series for
about 3 weeks now.
3 weeks, and I'm into my second week of playing around with this again. And we're both noticing how much it's helping our consistency throughout the day.
Exactly.
And that's something that so many people talk about, highs and lows and dips and spikes, and the consistency that we're all kind of aching for.
Right.
And so the Magic Mind is something that we're really happy to share. Magic Mind reached out to us and said, hey, would you try this for a little bit? And both of us had great success the first time we tried it. And so we both
5 days.
Yeah, we did a 5-day. And now we're doing a 30-day. So we wanted to give a shout out to that. And it's really funny. We were talking about this last night, my husband and I was reading a magazine, and they were talking about ashwagandha and the many benefits of mind and focus. And I'm like, wait, I think ashwagandha is in Magic Mind.
It is. Yeah. It's an adaptogenic. It's wonderful because it gives you what you need personally. It's one of those herbs that just takes care of us in exactly what we need. So yeah.
Love it.
Right. Yeah. And I was telling Wendy before we started recording that one of the things that I just noticed in the last week or so is that my memory has gotten a little bit better. I've been remembering things. My story is that I have a terrible memory. I'm not one of those people that can remember a lot of things, but a few things that came across and I remembered them, and I kind of was like, wow, that's not like me. And the only thing different I really have been doing is the Magic Mind. So I'm thinking that's probably what it is, just because I've been using it consistently. And again, it's very subtle. It's very subtle because I have good habits. So I didn't expect it to be this thing, but I think that's one of the benefits I'm getting. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Besides the focus, which I definitely need. So
that's right. And for a limited time, you can get a subscription and use code Nourish20.
Yep.
If you do go to magicmind.com and then use the code Nourish20, and you'll get a discount.
Yep.
So that is one tool. And another tool for me, and this came up in group, is that I must eat before I go to events. And coming into the holiday season, there naturally tend to be a few more events on our calendar. And so I need to eat before I go, because if I don't, the food is going to be calling, the sweets are going to be calling, the alcohol might be calling, like literally pulling me away from being present to the party or the meeting that I'm in. And so don't leave the house hungry.
Right.
It's so important. And that again is keeping our body steady and our hormones steady and our energy steady as well.
Right. And it's not even that you don't eat where you're going. It's that you can eat mindfully because you're not ravaged. You're not like, oh, I'm starving and I'm going to eat everything. So it's a matter of, it's again, coming back into yourself and making a solid decision instead of one drawn, coming out of your chaos of being hungry and cranky and everything else. So yeah, it's the planning ahead. And that's the other tool of focus is planning. We can't say it enough. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows that when you plan, things work out better, and we still don't do it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because it feels too big. So one of our recommendations is to start small. So maybe it's just planning today, or maybe it's planning 3 days, whatever you can handle. It's not, don't take the whole week and say, I need to plan the whole next week. Because often things happen that we can't control anyway, and our plans don't always work. So plan what you can, but start the practice of planning, because that's where chaos can't even come in. You have a plan in place. So whether it's meals or movement or meditation, whatever your planning habits that you need to have in place is plan it.
Because the calendar is something that helps give us structure. And with so many moving parts in our mind and in the world, we need some structure to be able to help us stay in the groove and on the path that really leads us to thriving. It's so curious. One of our clients talked recently about how it's towards the end of the year, and she just felt like sitting back and coasting is exactly what she said. And we're like, oh, where do you think that's from? And she's like, well, all this planning and discipline and everything. And then, as she talked through it, she realized how helpful planning and discipline and structure has actually helped her thrive this whole year since January. Yep. And she realized part of it was just a little bit of a rebellion, and that's okay. And it's so beautiful to hear clients say something, and then as it's coming out, they're actually witnessing some feelings that are coming up, and oh, is that really true, or is that just a story? Is that an old pattern that I have? It's such a beautiful thing to witness and see the aha moments come alive.
Yeah, we love that. We love that. And the biggest thing she realized, I think she said, if I stop for too long, starting up is going to be that much harder, which it is. It always is,
for
you know.
Sure.
So when you have momentum, keep it going, keep it going. Of course, we're going to have a little rebellion here and there. And I talked about that too. Of course, I have one time in the morning, sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like doing my morning routine, but I don't do that 2 days in a row because again, it gets harder and harder. So, so stay with that, you know, momentum and consistency. We really, really thrive with that. It's really helpful.
And one more image, and it's something that Dana shared with me this morning. It was a graph, and it had, you know, the graph of the up and then the down and up and down. And that's how life is. And at every one of the points on the graph, it said, do your best, do your best, do your best. And so today I show up this way. Tomorrow might be a little bit different, but whatever is going on, do the very best that I can and not shame ourselves or be totally disappointed that we didn't do something we said we were going to do. We need to insert just a little bit of grace and also do our best.
That's right. Every day. And it's just a reminder. That's a mantra in my head at all times. Just do my best. And it's a reminder because maybe at that moment I wasn't doing my best. And so I'm like, oh yeah, okay, just do the best I can right now. And it's such a good reminder just to have as a mantra in your head. Maybe you need a sticky note, maybe you need an alarm, whatever it is, but doing that will really help you kind of up your game a little bit. So,
yeah. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thanks for joining Navigating Nourishment. And if you haven't already, we would love to see you on our Facebook group, Navigating Nourishment. And if you want any more, you know, if you want to connect with us and give us feedback, you could go there, or you could go to our webpage at nourishcoaches.com.
And please share our podcast. That's how we get more listeners, get more people listening, and get more people well. So please share us.